To his supporters, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was a wise and pious supreme leader who led Iran for decades. To critics at home and in exile, he was a dictator who used brutal force against his own people and led his country into further international isolation. Born in 1939 to a clerical father in Iran's northeastern city of Mashhad, Khamenei was the second of 8 children and studied Islam from an early age. He showed a keen interest in Western literature, but frequently spoke of Western culture being in terminal decline. During Khamenei's Islamic studies in Qom, one of his mentors was Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the man who in 1979 would lead the Islamic Revolution. Khamenei was a prominent figure in the early Islamic Republic's ruling inner circle. He was first appointed a deputy defense minister and then was elected president for 2 successive terms. When Khomeini died in 1989, Khamenei, a mid-ranking cleric, appeared reluctant to succeed him as supreme leader.
من نه از لحاظ قانون اساسی و نه از لحاظ شرعی برای بسیاری از آقایون حرفم حجیت حرف رهبر رو نداره. این چه رهبری خواهد بود؟
The religious council refused to take no for an answer.
حالا ما رأی میگیریم دیگه بحثم نمی‌کنیم. آیانی که
Khamenei ruled as an uncompromising authoritarian. His strongly anti-American views grew more strident.
این تصمیم صادر کردن درباره ملت‌ها اون خوی استکباری ناپسند و پلیدی است که متاسفانه امروز شیطان بزرگ به اون گرفتاره.
In 2009, anti-government street protests, unprecedented since the Islamic Revolution, followed the disputed re-election of conservative President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Dozens of people were reportedly killed in the protests. Tehran and Washington remained at odds for years over Iran's nuclear program. Khamenei denied that Iran was developing nuclear weapons, claiming it needed the technology to generate electricity. In 2015, US President Barack Obama, along with 5 other world powers, announced a deal with Iran to curb Tehran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. But in 2017, President Donald Trump pulled US support for the deal and reimposed sanctions. Under Khamenei's watch, Israel launched an aerial campaign against Iran in 2025, during which the United States bombed nuclear sites in Fordo, Isfahan, and Natanz. Iran retaliated by firing hundreds of missiles at Israel in what became known as the 12-Day War. But Khamenei, who was Iran's commander-in-chief, was criticized for effectively disappearing during the war. The latter years of Khamenei's rule were marred by more street protests and deadly state crackdowns, which killed thousands of demonstrators. Between 2017 and 2021, there were protests over the high cost of living, gasoline prices, and water shortages. Bigger demonstrations came in 2022 after a young woman, Mahsa Amini, died in police custody after being detained for allegedly not wearing her headscarf correctly. The collapse of Iran's currency and skyrocketing inflation triggered massive nationwide protests in late 2025 and into the new year. Amid an internet blackout, security forces unleashed their deadliest ever crackdown under Khamenei. Thousands of people were killed when shots were fired in crowds of demonstrators. Morgues overflowed with body bags, as security forces continued to hunt down protesters in their homes. Khamenei never took responsibility for the rising dissent against his rule and instead blamed anti-establishment protests on foreign actors. Khamenei leaves no obvious successor. Former President Ebrahim Raisi had been seen as a future supreme leader, but was killed in a helicopter crash in May 2024. The 88-member Assembly of Experts, dominated by conservative clerics, will meet to appoint a successor. Khamenei is survived by 4 sons, 2 daughters, and his wife.